So I want to do this video basically. I don't understand why people always say this. Why do you say that I need to understand Chrissie? But you don't seek to understand anyone but yourself or your own perspective. You can't know anything if you don't know what's on the other end. If you just guess what's on the other end, you don't actually know. So just assuming that people need to understand Chrissie, but Chrissie doesn't seek to understand others. If you don't seek to understand others, then how can you understand anything? You can't. So you say I misrepresented, or I misrepresented the understanding of Chrissie, and it's like, okay, if I misrepresented her, then try and point out how I misrepresented her without knowing how I'm supposed to be represented. Oh, am I supposed to be represented the way Chrissie wants me to be represented, even though she's never had my skin tone, she's never had my hair texture, she's never had my facial features? So it's like, how do you mean to tell me that I am supposed to be represented a certain way, or I'm supposed to represent her ideas a certain way? And why should I be concerned about representing her ideas if she can't represent my ideas, really? She can't represent my experience. When I talked about colorism and my experience with colorism, and with hate on my skin tone and my hair texture and my features, you know what dark skinned black women went off and said? Some of them said, they said, oh, that's because they'll tell you that you're not black and that's not colorist. Oh, yeah, you're going to tell me exactly what I experience. You're going to tell me exactly what my life experience is, which is so weird to me. It's like, are you living the life of a brown skin? Are you living the life of a light skin? No, you're not. Then shut the fuck up. Okay? I don't. Maybe I shouldn't be so harsh, but it annoys me that you guys are always telling people who and how they're supposed to experience life. You get it from the light skin side, you get it from the dark skin side. They always are telling you, you need to experience this, you need to experience that. Oh, you're supposed to experience this right now. Oh, someone else said I have to experience the opposite thing this time. It's just like annoying. I experience my life the way I fucking experience my life. So don't you tell me that you have it harder than me when you don't even know what I got on my end. So that's why, to me, it's just like, from my perspective, I do not have that kind of perspective where I think that, I have to represent Chrissie or understand Chrissie for her perspective on colorism and stuff. When if she doesn't understand my perspective, then what kind of perspective does she even have? You see, I'm not one to just say, oh, I only understand my perspective. I'm not one of those people. I'm not saying I only understand my perspective as a brown skinned woman. No, I'm not saying that. My mother's dark skinned. I understand her perspective. She's always told me her perspective. I've always been open to hear her perspective. There are plenty of dark skinned black women who don't believe in colorism altogether. Elizabeth Garten, I believe that's her name. I'm subscribed to her, and she specifically does not believe in trusting in colorism like that. She calls colorism a scam. So, I mean, there are dark skinned black women out there who don't believe in colorism. There are dark skinned black people who are like, that's not real. And you're just putting down dark skinned black people when you act the way Chrissie does. That's how I see it, honestly. I mean, half the things that Chrissie says, honestly, if I believed it, I would believe I was better. I would honestly believe I was better because you're setting the scene like, oh, you have a better life, you have a better privilege, you have something better. I do not have anything better than a dark skinned black woman. I'm a black woman, they're black women, light skinned women are black women. Everybody's a black woman. We experience life as black women. It doesn't matter our color. That's why I kind of feel like also with the whole idea of misogynoir, with people always focusing on colorism, you can't even focus on misogynoir the way it should be focused on. Is all black women deal with it. But for some reason, we just have to focus on the dark skinned black woman, which makes the voice smaller and it makes different types of misogynoir that other black women will experience go ignored because oh it must not be that bad because we're not dark skinned, and it's like that's not true. you know Racism and sexism that black women deal with, we deal with it on any color spectrum, because if people identify us as black women, they identify us as black women. So to me, I just think that this is silly to say, oh, I misrepresented how Chrissie pres- basically sees colorism or how she presents it or whatever. It's like, no, I didn't misrepresent. I share exactly the perspective I have and the perspective I've seen of many other dark skinned black people. So I'm not just one sided. Like she seems to be only in her small world and talking to black women in their small world. And also talking to people who want to feel better than her and get their rocks off of her talking about how things are worse off for someone dark skinned. So then the medium skinned people and the light skinned people can feel a little bit better about it. That's why I always say people who call those people light skinned saviors, so to speak, or whatever, I don't consider them that, but they call them that on the light skinned platforms. Those people are not what they are trying to be perceived as. They're actually people who are happy to supposedly have some kind of privilege over dark skinned black women, and they get their rocks off of the fact that those dark skinned black women have some kind of struggle and they want them to have an inferior complex. I do not have that perspective. I will never see dark skinned black women less than me. That is hard for me to even understand or comprehend because it makes no sense. We're black. The image of blackness is actually on the darker end. So this would never make sense to me that they would be worse off. Unless I was to see blackness as a bad thing. And I don't see blackness in women as a bad thing. So to me, I mean, like, all this is doing is just creating a sense of shame in blackness. And I don't see that there should be a shame in dark skinned black women feeling more shame than other black women. We're all in this together. And to me, I just think we all should have a sense of unity and not have a sense of, only focus on one side of it, which is only a small percentage of black people anyway. Dark skinned black people aren't the majority. Brown skinned black people are the majority, and they keep getting tossed in and out of that movement. In and out, just used as needed, basically. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But my point is, I did not misrepresent her at all. And saying that I did is basically saying that you don't have any understanding for any other perspective. You don't care to have any other understanding of any other perspective. While I personally have gone out there and tried to actually see other people's perspectives other than my own to come to a conclusion. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'm done. Bye.